See, I like the storytelling poems. So, who's here ready for a storytelling poem?
Yeah!
See, growing up was hard for Suzanne. She didn't have a plan after her mother was forced to be the man. But that man couldn't stay. She had better things to do. Work 2 jobs a day and get high just to make it through. She never saw the daughter or what was left of her, only the after effects of what the drugs would render her. She quit the first job and got fired from the next. She didn't have a diploma, so she resorted to selling sex. She needed to get her addictions and feed the kids somehow. Had to choose between the two, so she packed up and left town. It's easy now to leave your burdens on the young, but it's like burning your tongue and tasting that morning sun. So Suzanne packs her bags and goes to live with her father. But she found him on a noose hanging on a tree by the water, and a family of friends that could possibly take her in. The mother OD'd on just a little bit too much heroin. It's better when you have someone to support you. But she's only 14, can't work legally enough to make it through. She felt old for those adoption agencies, so she skipped town to learn from family vacancies. She's a suicide princess, a mistress of distress. She needs to rest her chest, pounds from the test. Instead she resets and resorts to loose leaf crying, tying her pain to paper planes she's flying. She keeps a journal of all her head messes, the stresses of life that left her family with no witnesses. She's a businesswoman now, works at a firm with people to listen to her body language more than her words. She's a 28-year-old that's going on 40, a body of a young mother and a mind full of forgotten stories. She married the first man that didn't want her for her dignity, that fared with divinity after his kid turned 3, same predicament that she's accustomed to. Her parents left for their sins. He left because he wanted to, and now she dates losers. She thinks she don't deserve better. Most days she ends up releasing her pain in the form of personal letters. Persevering the weather is no fun for anyone, especially when it involves her 5-year-old son. But instead of taking up to run, she finds comfort in her poems, finds it much more scary to be alone in her home. But she's alone in her dome with no one to talk to, no one to shed any light on her abandonment issues. And the tissues aren't enough to keep the rivers from flowing. And when the waterworks start, her vulnerability starts showing, and the guys start knowing they can take advantage of what they notice, and emotions run high. So this princess of giving into the sin, the stress that starts to settle within her heart now. This isn't the type of place to raise a child in, is it? Nah. She wants to grab the toothpaste, wants to tie the shoelaces, wants to imagine her and her son in a much happier place. But it's a waste of time to think about fantasy land. She's doing what she can even without a man, and each time she revisits these thoughts directly, she remembers her mom's recipe, she discards it correctly. She doesn't need a man to hold tight and snuggle. She's got a younger man putting together the pieces to his blank puzzle. Thank you.
Okay.